Good morning again, guys. Still Sunday, the after church edition, I guess. Uh, Wanted to start before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video. I have not heard from anybody in over a week as to where the seed box is, or seed boxes. Please, guys, if you've received it and have sent it on, please let me know so we can keep track of where it is with all the goofy weather and stuff like that. And FedEx, well, it's not going FedEx anyway, but throwing out packages and stuff like that. We're just trying to keep track of where it is and hopefully it's moving on. So if you've got it recently and sent it on, please let me know. Any of the boxes, okay? If it was one of Voodoo Queens or Treasure Seekers or Unique Rabbits or whatever, I'll get with them and so they can keep track of those boxes too. But meat and potatoes. Uh, Sunday morning, I was kind of kicking back, watching a little bit of Constantine's live stream and watching or reading the news and seeing what was going on. Fortunately, it was a slow news night, but Saturday nights usually are. Not a whole lot going on there. But I did run across something that was kind of interesting. And in all places, again, the Russian media. Okay, I figured this one out. It's a story about people moving in the United States. Okay, we know this is going on. It's not a big surprise that people are leaving liberal cities like New York and LA for the likes of, Texas and Florida and Tennessee, going from a high tax to a no tax or extremely low tax state. Like for me, I've got high sales tax, but no income tax and extremely low property tax. Okay, so people are coming to Tennessee. So I decided to go in and do a little bit of looking because a lot of you guys send me emails saying we're looking at getting out of the East Coast or New England or Chicago or something like that, and asking what I know about a certain area in Tennessee. And guys, please understand, I haven't even been here for 3 years yet. Okay, and I don't get far from home. So I know a few counties around and what's going on. But when you ask me with something that's, west of Knoxville or something like that, I have no knowledge of it. So, unfortunately I can't help. I mean, I can name 4 counties around here and that's it. Okay. So we look at where people are leaving. Okay. And most of it makes pretty much sense. California, Gruesome Newsom has destroyed the state there. Illinois, okay, Chicago is just destroyed everything for people. If you want to get shot, go to Chicago. Michigan, again, Gretchen Whitmer is destroying Michigan. Not that Michigan hasn't been a dying state for 40 years. New York, okay, big difference between New York City and New York State, but New York City people are leaving like crazy. Again, you got Jersey, you got Pennsylvania, you got Maryland. Those are where people are leaving. Well, where are they going? Idaho, Arizona, Colorado. Okay, that's primarily, and Texas. That's primarily where the Californians are going. Now we've talked about the cost of living going through the roof in Idaho, or the price of housing going up like crazy in Arizona, in Colorado. Texas, big enough state, I guess, if you will, where, there's enough different places to go where you can still find a decent quality of life. You're not stuck in Phoenix or Tucson. No offense to anybody who lives in other places in Arizona. I know there's beautiful places in Arizona, don't get me wrong. But, people moving from a city to, usually want to move to a city. But then you get to Illinois, Illinois, Michigan, the Midwest states, they're coming to Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina for the most part. And then the New Englanders, or I don't know if you want to call them that, but New York, Pennsylvania, it's not really New England, but the upper Northeast, they're going to Florida. So I wanted to look real quick and see where the most people are going to, because again, as preppers, we're trying to get away from people. All right, so I wanted to look and see what the fastest 10 growing areas are in the country. This will surprise the hell out of you. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is number one. Okay, that's where most people are moving to. You know, more influx of people than anything else. Myrtle Beach isn't exactly cheap, but it's not super expensive. Okay. The interesting part, the next 9, I told you looking at top 10, okay, the next 9 are all in Florida. And if I go in order from 2 to 10, Sarasota, Fort Myers, Naples, Lakeland, Ocala, Daytona Beach, Port St. Lucie, Orlando, and Melbourne. That tells it, and my guess is this is probably New York, New Jersey. All right, you know, typical. That's Florida's the getaway. All right, so that tells you a lot there. Number 11, Colorado, Fort Collins. Number 12, Spartanburg, South Carolina. Okay. Number 13, Austin, Texas. Makes sense. Uber liberal Austin, Texas. Californians going to an uber liberal city. Boise, Idaho is 14. Tampa's 15. Salisbury, Maryland is number 16. That surprised me. Okay. Eugene, Oregon, number 17. So now you got liberals moving up north, getting out of California and going, okay, Oregon's a little cheaper. Charleston, South Carolina, Fayetteville, Arkansas, Las Vegas, again, Californians. I'll get to something about Vegas here in a second. Charlotte, North Carolina is number 22. Raleigh, Durham, number 23. Phoenix, number 24. Tennessee, Nashville, number 25. The first time Tennessee makes the list is number 25, and it's Nashville. All right. Nashville is a liberal city, just like Memphis is uber liberal, and Knoxville, for the small size it is liberal. But I got a kick out of the fact that the 25th, that was the first time Tennessee got on the list, because we seem to be where a lot of people are moving. But here's the difference. Tennessee is not a highly populated state, considering its size. There is still a lot of land, a lot of rural area that you can move into. Now, is it growing? Oh, absolutely. We moved here, bought this house that was built in 2012, mind you. Okay. We bought this house in 2019. When I bought it, the land behind me was owned but vacant. The land to my right was owned, but nobody was doing anything with it. The land to my left was all still woods. The land across the street was all still woods. Now, mind you, I've got 3 acres, so it's not like I'm on top of people, but it's not like I have, you know, uber privacy. I don't have 100 acres or anything. 3 acres is big, but it's not unmanageable. I don't need a tractor to run around here. Okay, I can still mow the lawn in a couple hours with, you know, lawn tractor. Fast forward 2.5 years. There's a house behind me. There's a house to the right of me. Guy bought the property to the left of me. He's starting to build. One lot across the street, starting to build. The other 2 have been cleared. Looks like somebody might start to do something. So people are buying property around here. Now, how about the cost? There's the other thing. So I went on Zillow this morning and I looked at our old house in Vegas to see what it is, at least the Zillow estimate. Okay. It's up $105,000 from where I sold it 2 years ago, or about 30%. Okay. Good increase in property value, but it's Vegas and we know what's going on there. So I looked to see what the value of this house has gone up. Okay, at least according to Zillow. It doesn't mean that that's what somebody's going to give me for it if I decided to sell it. But, you know, got to get numbers from somewhere. Well, the price of this one has gone up $160,000, or about 80% of what I paid for it. Now, granted, I got this house at a steal. Okay, I'm a decent negotiator. Okay. Uh, and was able to get a good deal on the house. Plus, we've done some improvements. Plus, we added an acre to it. So besides, like I said, a new deck, put a smokehouse in, all the gardens, the fire pit, cleared the land, did all that. So, I mean, there's expense in there as well. But the land is for sale. It's getting harder and harder to come by. But you need to take a look as to, with everybody saying, oh, I can't do it, I've got a house here or whatever, you start looking. The house we sold in Vegas is still worth $100,000 more than the house we have here is worth, both according to Zillow. All right. Just because land is expensive where you're looking, maybe find out what you've currently got that's worth what it's worth if you're going to sell. Because there are people, like I just said, moving to Eugene, Oregon, Salisbury, Maryland, whatever would be. If you're looking to get out of some of these liberal shitholes and go somewhere, there are plenty of places, I can say anything about Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma. They all seem to be seeing influxes of people. And my bet is still this: the majority of them, at least going to those states, are the conservatives leaving. Now, the New York, New Jersey, my guess, that exodus going to Florida, like I said, 9 of the top 10, I'm betting that's a lot of liberals. My opinion, okay? Could be totally wrong. I'm assuming. I've got nothing to back that up. I'm just assuming, all right? But don't be so afraid of, oh my God, everything's getting more expensive or whatever it is, because you may be surprised to see what you currently have, what it's worth. Go take a look. If you're considering it, maybe. Now, I understand everybody's got other reasons. My family's all here. I've got to take care of parents, whatever would be. Those are decisions that you've got to make on your own. I'm just talking about the economic side of it, all right? Yes, prices are getting more expensive here and inevitably in Florida and Texas and everywhere else. But they are also getting a lot more expensive in everywhere, you name it. So, who cares if you buy for 100 and sell for 200, or you buy for 500 and sell for 600? You're still net 100K. Okay, doesn't matter. But I know a lot of people keep saying, "Oh, I'm going to wait for the property value, the property market to crash." I don't think that's coming. Reason being is, this will shock the hell out of you. In 2021, so far, 57% of the American public has moved. I was dumbfounded when I read that. Okay. Now, it could be moving from one apartment to another apartment or whatever. And I think a lot of it probably has to do with that because, I got kicked out of my apartment because I was sucking on the rent moratorium forever, and now I've got to find somewhere else. But we've seen the exodus from blue states to red states. And it seems to me, and it seems to this article that I was reading this morning too, that the, if you will, traditional American values, God, family, and guns, if you will, about the only place that's being really supported is down south. All I can say, Mrs. P and I got real lucky we moved when we did. Okay? Happy that I'm here. I ain't going anywhere. We were talking about this in the car yesterday. As silly as this, is there anywhere safe in the world to go? And we were talking, because I think I've told you guys before, we looked at, before we moved here, I was seriously thinking about Costa Rica, Panama, Belize, Mrs. P actually said, we could consider going to Russia. None of those are a good option. Whether the government is already relatively socialist, look at Russia, who knows what's going on there. You could, like she said, we could land on a plane and the next day they go into Ukraine and you're never leaving again. So, if you are considering anything, start taking a look. Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, parts of Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, anything like that. That if you're looking for the traditional American values where you can raise your kids with, two genders, friendly neighbors, might be something to look at. And I'll throw one real big curve at you here, okay? With all the politics that goes on all the time. Oh, conservatives are all so racist. Go look at where the largest percentage of African Americans live in the country. Tell me again how racist the Conservative Party is, when we can all live amongst each other, no problem. And people are actually coming here. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Pinball out.